Welcome back, everyone. 欢迎大家回来。今天是第76天. It is day 76. Welcome, welcome. Yes, absolutely. And then the idea that 5 or 6 college-educated professionals in the IT sector talking around a table all know a very small bubble. That's fair. Although, one could kind of make an argument that because of technology and education, the 5 or 6 of those college-educated professionals represent a larger representation than they have ever represented before, but with also the propensity of representing even less, largely due to internet echo chambers, right? So here's what I'm thinking, right? Since the post-internet era, and you also wrote that it's good to remember when sometimes we do not understand why some things are happening. Sometimes prior to the internet and the information highway, we also are not aware of things that a substantial exponential number of, or have the capacity to have access to the awareness, or even choose to be aware of things around us, right? So even not considering what we don't understand, we can't even witness most of those things back then. And I like to think of it like this way. Now to capture a bigger picture, right? So like awareness. Let's just put like awareness and let's say information, which information can be like somewhat in proportional to representation, like intellectual representation. So we'll pick like a big thing, pre and post internet, right? I like to think of it like humans have observed a specific distribution of it. We'll arbitrarily call this the point of reference, right? And now in the post-internet years, I think intellectuals feel like largely they still have the representation, but what they observe in the range of the entire population is like that. And this bottom one would be an echo chamber, oftentimes, and self-selection. So that creates that cynicism from an intellectual perspective. And then this is exceptional. So extraordinary. Extraordinary. I can't spell extraordinary. Extraordinary. And what was it? Idealism. And conceptual. So prior to the internet and then the post-internet, there has been, I would say, I should move this box slightly higher and wider. So I would say, in a general sense, the average or like the large distribution has uplifted due to the information, right? The average or larger distribution and overall top shift. However, like most things when it comes to knowledge and human awareness and intellectual, with an explosion of information, the range gets even farther exaggerated, and it can lead to a feeling of, oh man, it is so much more difficult. Meanwhile, though, if we think about the old concept beforehand, it was less difficult because there was also less knowledge and less awareness accessible to begin with, and the range was tighter, right? those who knew a lot of things and are aware of a lot of things and deficiency of representation are at the top, but they're not as different as the normal distribution, or like the vast majority of distribution. And at the bottom, the ignorance does not appear as ignorant because there are a lot of things that the top are not ignorant of yet. So now with like a renaissance in information, in my opinion, now intellectuals can see the bottom, like even further bottom, which is exaggerated by very particular behavior due to that information, because now there's a push for clarity, which clarity is not up here. This is dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction, incomplete feeling, right? So when you look at the top, it's like, wow, it is so complicated. Like conceptually, it's even like unreachable and unattainable. And with more knowledge, that peak continues to be upper reaching. Meanwhile, though, I would argue there's an uplift in most people's awareness, but it doesn't remove humans' ability to see the dramatic range, like the bottom and the top. And the bottom is bigger now. It's bigger than it's ever been. And the top is also bigger than it's ever been. With new knowledge comes expanded perspective. So, and you like, hear me out. This is comparing cross-sectionally, right? My bad. This is comparing longitudinally, which is having an event and following those people across. Now, what is also longitudinal is aging. So aging, discussions follow this specific trend because age and wisdom, with the increase of wisdom, also follows this trend in any microcosm. So like, say a group was cut off from the internet, so now we're removing the internet aspect. As a group ages, it will have this distribution in one's mind as well. You have more experiences, you are more likely to expand your perspective, but with that expansion of your perspective, the bottom becomes longer, the top, the idealism becomes bigger, and you have more things to consider, so it's difficult to always, it feels even more difficult to get a representation of what you know, right? And that to me is the human condition, right? One of the fundamental human conditions. So as one grows older, you are more, in my opinion, more and more likely to feel more and more cynical, right? And cynical not necessarily in a malicious way, but more of a protective way against all the new incoming experiences and knowledge over your years. But you can also see this in a cross-sectional way across population when you're thinking about pre-internet and post-internet. It's kind of an elegant thing. And now my punchline, and I don't blame you and your colleagues to even remotely come to this conclusion, because now you're combining age plus post-internet. Because you and I have lived past the original indoctrination of internet habits. So now not only is the internet growing in that way, our age is growing. So yeah, coffee table talk, I'm certainly not surprised with the feelings involved of like, yeah, there's just, I gotta take it with a grain of salt. knowledge is amazing, and it comes with the baggage of this. That's my rudimentary way of trying to capture more in a graph, in a depiction of a graph, than trying to like write words. But yeah, I thought about that quite a bit as I'm getting older and older. The way I feel about the juxtaposition between pre-internet and or age is I try my best to spend a substantial amount of my time talking to younger people, because it helps ground my thing. If I'm around my colleagues, like my best friends and stuff, that's probably on board. It's incredibly difficult. It just feels like we don't have enough of everything, and like information of everything or appreciation of everything. How do we do it? Like, well, it's bigger than us, right? Humans, there are a lot of them. Just say to as a understatement. This is what you're here for. Welcome. Yeah, so that's probably how I would describe totally like what you mean when you're saying very small bubble, but it's also good to remember when sometimes we do not understand why some things are happening. I think being mortal, being of one mind, you have some pretty young colleagues, not teenagers of course, but like 23 years old, and I'm pleasantly surprised given the stereotype around young people these days. We'll see if it still holds up in 10 years. Yeah. I'm not sure, Gecko. I mean, like, based on our ages, right? We might be able to, fingers crossed, live healthily and consciously, like, intellectually active for another 2 generations, right? Another 40 years, let's say. Another 40 years, 2020. I'm just rounding 20, but another 2 more adult cycles of adolescence. And I would love to witness and experience possibly a paradigm shift in the cycle of human aging and whatnot, right? Like, Gen Beta, I don't know. Oh, that would be a terrible name for the next, like, Gen Alpha is the current thing. Calling the following generation Gen Beta, that might be, maybe Gen Kappa. Oh no, that's gonna be kind of weird too. Let's say Gen Delta, right? When Gen Delta rolls along in another 13 years, so I'll be like approaching my into my 50s then. It would be interesting to see, like, oh man, these guys are substantially different. They don't go through the cycle of self-awareness, and like their awareness is so peak or something dramatically happens because of the internet or overcompensating stuff. But so far, at least over my lifetime's generation, and understanding loosely the historical aspects of Gen X and possibly a little bit of the baby boomer generation, at least in the prospect of the United States, this cycle has held true. As in, generally speaking, knowledge has become that thing where with more knowledge comes dissatisfaction and an air of cynicism over one's life, one's aging life. And being human means that any one person cannot be satisfactorily omniscient or clairvoyant after acquiring sufficient knowledge. The knowledge far tends to exceed the human conditions, like satisfactory with how much they know or want to know, right? And it occurs to the detriment of the host or not. Some people accept that, which intellectuals tend to have an acceptance of this, the whole valley of despair or enlightenment. And then there are individuals who prefer to retreat and ignore that out of ignorant bliss, right? That's also a fair way, and echo chambers present that. It presents a solution to that feeling. How can you remove this unbelievable uncapped feeling of cloudiness and insignificance and worldly perspective that you have to combat every day because we're one person? We're of individual mind, not a hive mind, right? We cannot be unified together and become one, a singularity, if you will. So Oftentimes, in order to get a semblance of that singularity or unification, you self-select yourself into echo chambers on the internet to compensate, which then ultimately caps your exposure. So that's why usually the further down you go in that range is where the cap happens. While those who continue to accept that inevitably they cannot have a feeling of contentment with representation, due to the consistent acquisition of new knowledge and new perspectives, others can cap themselves artificially, and they are more likely to drag down the distribution of knowledge in that bell chart. So, right, like the idea is this range continues to get exacerbated because of the availability of echo chambers. And it's not deliberate. Like for example, algorithm-driven stuff was not deliberate in creating these echo chambers. They weren't designed like, oh yeah, we're going to make echo chambers so that people can live in a tighter social bubble to have clarity, right? Clarity in feeling and commitment, right? But the internet led to that. It's kind of a great place to be if you refuse to accept the reality of knowledge and the human condition. The more you know, the more nihilistic you become, or you tend to get nihilistic, and nihilistic with a sprinkle of cynicism. And it's often about one's own cynicism, like cynical about one's own imposter syndrome, right? Like the more you know, the less you think you know overall. You know something, you gain something, but you come out knowing that you don't know a lot, even more than that. And that continues. So as a refusal of this, you can collect down here, extend the population range by participating in echo chamber and self-selection. And that's a very comfortable place to be, like your paradise. Go out into the woods and get off the grid, right? Go out into the woods, get off the grid, grow a wonderful garden, eat sustainable, self-sustainability, live in that social bubble, right? That is a way that's a human condition to defend yourself. And I think that's why I chose this representation of a distribution of that feeling of awareness, right? And you could chalk it up to natural, maybe there's some tolerance underneath to that. There are people who obviously have a much healthier relationship with the idea that I want to learn a lot of things. But I also know the more I learn, the more the world seems like it sucks. And not sucks in a bad way, but sucks that you can't understand it. Like more knowledge, more learning equals more and more apprehension about how little you know. And you start thinking about existential crises, about like, oh man, I wish I could live long enough to experience all of these things. Well, I can't experience that anymore because I experienced this. That is the bane of now, I think, the human condition when it comes to knowledge. You can remove those feelings, anxieties, and stuff by creating your social bubble and participate in echo chambers. A great example would be like subreddits, right? Subreddits, VR chat communities, Discord communities, any niche thread, hobby groups. There are ways to not necessarily close yourself off entirely, but it allows you to go back and forth. So some days, like, oh man, I can't, like, there's just so many things going on in the world. I really need something. So you channel it into a project, right? Hank does this. He does projects, right? Like projects for like complexly. John recently released his book on tuberculosis. tuberculosis, right? That's a self-selection. That's a selection. You niche language learning micro communities? Yes. Actually, I'm not even sure if you need micro communities. Anki themselves has a macro community that's composed of micro communities, right? So you have the macro community. Because I'm on the outside, I can only see the macro community. But on the inside, if you ask different Anki users, they will be broken up into micro communities. Like, oh, I like these 3 decks. I think these 3 decks are goated. And they might be mutually exclusive of each other. Because all of them, if they're mutually exclusive, they like Anki as a macro group. As a micro group, they like mutually distinctive decks, for example, right? It's nice. I think for me, I bounce back and forth. What is a community that I resonate with as a social bubble that I'm guilty of? I like narrative-driven games. They are mechanically essential to the appreciation for video games. That is a micro community of gaming. It's far in the minority than someone who weighs mechanical inputs for entertainment, right? Storytelling is not a mechanic of the gaming. That would be an example. So when I go into this community, everyone's like, oh yeah, instead of paying attention to mechanics, right? Like, I don't know, dodge windows and stuff. We talk about stories. We celebrate stories, you know? You're talking about the platform we're exchanging on right now, aka your channel. I came back here because I like following your progress and having interest talks, but it is also a bubble, of course. Yes, it is a bubble, yeah. Like, absolutely. Absolutely. And supposedly Gen Beta has started for babies born in 2025. Oh, really? So they are pulling through with Gen Beta? Oof, that's gonna be... I wonder what kind of parents Gen Z will be too. Me too. Me too. I mean, I've had wonderful pleasures of meeting people who are representatives of Gen Z, right? But you know what's scary about that? The vast majority, and this is a pre-selection problem, because the people who I talk to or who I attract will naturally never think about having children. They usually don't. And you might be thinking, well, that could be a coincidence. It's like, I want to say it's a coincidence, but there are there are enough converging evidence, at least anecdotally speaking, that would suggest that a particular type of mindset and the type of people that the people you kind of relate to, and at the same time, I already mentioned that by coincidence, this is a coincidence, that my upbringing as a millennial in the United States circa the 2000s, right, as an adolescent, like an adult adolescence, parallels a lot of the things that are created by technology, in my opinion, in Gen Z. And if you look at the representation of the people that are like me, almost all of us, a lot of those individuals, they're actually still the minority in millennials, but most of them choose not to have children because of the pragmatic hyper objectivity that requires and surrounds having children. They stop taking chances, experiencing things that they have no control over, you know, nihilistic things with the explosion of information. Gen Z is the consequence, can be the consequence of constantly raising the bar on awareness. Being incredibly self-aware requires an equally as guarantee of self-control, right? Control of the situation. So having a child is like asking someone to relinquish almost all of your control, right? And that's scary. And sure enough, I don't have any friends. Like ones that are closest to me even considered, or like they on all of them are childless. Like they don't want to do that. So yeah, and Gecko, you were gonna say if Gen Z even has babies. Yeah, it's kind of a tough one. Recently, not that this is a bad or a place of, I'm not trying to like garner pity or anything, but there has been a new title being shared around about Gen Z. Gen Z is the loneliest generation. Not lonely in the sense that they don't socialize with each other. Lonely as in they seem to, there's a higher propensity, a statistically significant higher propensity to be content alone. Not in the sense of they don't feel loneliness or they don't desire companionship, that they're far more content because the trade-offs with whatever the summation of all the behavioral contributing factors is that they end up being alone. So not even getting to the point of saying, should we start a family with babies, but even the tackling of having long-term companionship. And that's kind of what I want to address a lot of times. So I sound like a broken record because it's, I guess I'm older. It feels like regardless of how benevolent this might sound or righteous or self-morally importance, but I feel like there's some onerous on millennials to try to encourage Gen Z to experience some of the most beautiful things life has to offer. And that is probably to find your significant other and also maybe consider being a wonderful pair of parents who are brave, intellectually inclined to have children. I would say generally the more intellectually well educated, there has plenty of correlation data that suggests the higher your education is, the more like academically successful it comes off as a trade-off of ever considering starting a family. And we're not saying, quote unquote, I feel like this was taken out of context before, where like, oh, does that mean stupid people have children and smart people don't? No, it's the willingness to be educated and the willingness to be acceptant of not the consequences of becoming educated. So when education and knowledge comes through, you're juggling more and more things that could convince you not to have a family. However, when one takes chances, it's at a paradox with people who want knowledge. So if you're very intellectually inclined, you are less inclined to do things that are unpredictable and uncontrolled. You have more things to work through. So the incentives become lower. So one would say not smart and dumb, or educated, uneducated, or like stupid, like incapable of learning. It takes a bit of ignorance, some bliss, and some trust to execute on trying to have children. Children are unpredictable. It's far more unpredictable than choosing a partner, but having a partner is also unpredictable compared to the self, right? So the more knowledge you have about what humans are capable of and whatnot, there are more factors in play. So when that whole error, that feeling of trusting someone unconditionally, that becomes harder and harder as one becomes more and more intellectually inclined. So ultimately, it's a really fixed pattern. The more educated a couple is, as in educated meaning they might have more knowledge and perspective overall, not that they're smart or stupid. That's a whole different story. That's talking about the capacity to learn and whatnot. Most of these couples are probably no more stupid or smart in capacity than those who are ignorant. But the idea is with that knowledge comes many reasons to not have children, pragmatically speaking. To be fair, in terms of demographics, it is clear Western countries are already on the decline and India and Africa are on the rise. Yeah. Yep. It's almost across the board, unanimously across the board, with some minor exceptions, you know, that are not Western countries, Japan, Korea, and China being one of them, you know, being 3 of them, right? They are also on the decline. That in itself will reshape our world. Although Korea is making a comeback. That is an interesting story, actually, in a couple years. And there is some really funny, weird, wholesome things on how they went about comebacks. But we have to, like, some people might be like saying, but we still have too many people on the planet or limited resources and stuff. I get that, right? But these things happen fast. And what I mean by fast is they're kind of silent. Like, when you have a human behavior that propagates, it propagates very, very fast now, thanks to the internet. In my opinion, I think one of the biggest contributors to how fast a opinion, a shape, a pattern in human behavior gets propagated, it's so accelerated by the internet. So if there's ounces of already seeds of saying, yeah, you shouldn't do this anymore, and then that seed grows into something, it can become to the point where, well, you know, some of us don't think it's a waste of time to try to think about the future generation, and then immediately fast 2 years or 3 years, like, the majority don't care about the future generation and they live for themselves. That's kind of how I feel about these things. And it's interesting how fast Korea did a turnaround on the whole declining situation. That in itself will reshape our world, especially as these people get wide access to the internet. Yes. So we also got to think about the sheer number of representation now. The representation is disproportionately different in matters of years, right? Like, think about how markets work now, like business markets. When you, I will bring up one for Duolingo, I suppose. What is the market that Duolingo wants to break into? India. It's unspoken, I mean, it's a clear unspoken rule, but it's a fairly like, it's pragmatically an obvious thing. If you're in Japan, you want your game, you want to test your game in a consistent target, the United States, but the real true target most of the time is break into India and or China. China is a targeting thing, but break into India and Africa. Or when it comes like app design and whatnot, Africa and India. Population. I know several young people who can't see themselves having children, mostly because they believe the world presents perspectives too bleak and wish not to expose. But yep, they're well informed. Gecko. Like, I feel we talked about how, like, when, right? Oftentimes we talk about when is it a proper age to do that in terms of like the bigger picture of human propagation, right? Would you expose your child, like your 13-year-old, to the world of the vastness of the universe early in order to eliminate, right? Eliminate, like a natural consequence of knowledge is to eliminate the, how you say, the colorfulness and the potential and the awe-inspiring nature of not knowing and discovery. So if you remove that really early in life, in my opinion, we see some of the coincidental, because, you know, correlation is not causation, but the coincidental nature of how early is too early. Well, if you give the internet, like a 13-year-old, access to the internet, by the time they're 18, again, correlation for now, for the current generation, and the 2 current generations, they are unlikely to believe in human nature, to like celebrate human nature. And one of them is taking a chance on companionship and taking a chance on the messiness of having children. So if you accelerate that and say, all right, well, let's just say, let's make the age limit 18, that could kind of work, but how do you enforce that kind of thing, right? The internet is ubiquitous. So now we're talking about how early to expose this thing, because you might argue maybe adults are no different than their younger counterparts. But my thought is, man, when I was 13, I already wanted to die alone. And it was not the internet that saved me from a perspective that was far more flowery than learning more. The more I learned, the more responsibilities I have, the less and less likely that I was going to tackle that question. It was actually taking a step back, appreciating how people had children, like being exposed to people who are loving parents, despite not knowing everything, despite going through hurdles, solving mortgages and paying bills and having ups and downs with their children, overcoming that somewhat balance of ignorance and like trust, that rosiness and wholesomeness is what I expose myself to, right? Some influencers now that talk about, oh, this is what raising a child is like. It's like, that sounds fantastically chaotic. Like people who are able to be positive and wholesome, knowing that they're not calculating or trying to consider all the ramifications of having a child before having a child. So there's definitely an element of balance. I haven't crossed that threshold yet, but for pretty much all of my friends, they probably already have crossed that threshold for themselves. So it would be shocking. I would be very surprised if I get a call that suddenly one of my longtime acquaintances or friends decide to have children. In fact, I love going to weddings of my friends because it also means they took the other step to have companionship. Oftentimes, most of my friends, closest friends, it's a companionship of convenience that blossomed into something that was uncontrollable, like something that was created not because of knowledge but because of exploration, and that breathes more life into the relationship. The relationships are successful because you're not trying to calculate every step along the way, right? Kind of interesting. Hasn't Australia done something like that with special social media? I don't know how it's going. I haven't checked up on Australia yet. Yeah, Australia is another case study, right, that you can look at. I think right now South Korea has shared a bit of it to the outside world, like in terms of media. I'm not sure about Australia if some of this is available, but it's like I would say you would say this might not be a big deal if it was like a small change, like a small shift. It's a large shift, at least estimates, right? You maybe take the estimates for a grain of salt, but it's a large observable trend between, it's not even a trend, it's just a dip. It's like a quantized dip, right? I mean, you kind of see a little bit of trending down from Gen X to millennials and whatnot, but like it just thumps all the way down. So it's one of those things, like you can't even build a trend off of it because it's an outlier. That's why these awareness and these tactics are being brought to light, largely because social order or something. Oh, hey, oh, and we're about to start this. HanziHero, of course. It looks like Kevin is back. Nice. So there was an update to the curriculum. Let's look at the update to the curriculum. I haven't looked at it in real time. It's been a while. One of your favorite ideas to explore intellectually is that the world, humanity, life, and both ugly and beautiful and how to navigate this duality. Yeah, there are I would say I'm very, very happy that with the internet also comes the advantage of having other people explore these things for me. I think, okay, I kind of lied. It is thanks to the internet indirectly that I've become a far more flowery person, a person who's willing to take chances, right? Um, Think about how cold-hearted a knowledgeable person is. Like, as a direct comparison, it's kind of like at some point you know enough, you stop taking chances, right? For example, for human relations, um, I can't tell you that I've encountered kids. I've encountered far more younger people who are less intellectually curious about other people than I've ever had when I was like 20s. Like back in the day, kids would prefer to discover what that person's like, for bad or good, for better or worse, that kind of thing. Like, oh, this guy, well, I don't know enough about people right now, so let's just find out if this person's good or bad, or like, do I like this person or not? No, nowadays, by the time you get to 18 or 20, it's like, I know about humans enough now. You seem boring. Click, dislike, I'm out. That's the world of internet. Now, when you get older, this is more and more likely to occur because you have more and more experience, right? Then you become colder and colder. But before the internet, people went through a phase of experimentation to normalize human interactions. You bypass that now with the internet because the internet can tell you what people you shouldn't like and what people you should like, and that's it. So whenever someone says, oh man, I want to meet my perfect companion, my ideal companion, and they would list these things, someone asked me, did you ask me, Gecko? Someone asked me, what do I look for in a partner? Oh, you might not have been here. I think Procall asked me, what do I look for in a partner? And I wanted to give a hot take first and then a longer answer. It turned out to be a 5-hour discussion, but the hot take, the concise hot take was, if I were to look for a partner, I would not make it an ideal thing based on things I cannot control. So the one thing I really wanted is I look for a partner that's able to have open communication, because that is the risk. That is the thing that mitigates any of the attempts to mitigate any of the risk. It's like, oh, I don't like this thing yet, but if I have open communication, I can learn to like it. Or we can learn to mutually, you like it and I don't like it, but we can mutually arrange something, right? That is not a thing anymore. Everything is decided because you have the knowledge. You feel more competent, thanks to the internet. So someone can determine what is an interesting stream and what is an interesting content by looking at the thumbnail, because they've seen so many examples of it. It's like, that is not an interesting thumbnail. This guy is probably boring as dirt because they don't have a hook, line, and sinker clickbait title. I'm not clicking on that. I'm not the one who asked, but thanks for sharing. Yeah, it was Procall. It was Procall. But you were there on the same day, but you already left. It was the discussion right after. I think it was 3 days ago. I'm surprised I didn't bump into Procall today, because oftentimes you two have this very uncanny situation of showing up at the same time or staggered. Like, if he shows up like in the next 5 minutes, I feel like you guys are on like some sort of schedule that kind of follows each other, right? But anyways, it was the last time we spoke. Yeah, and then it led into 4 to 5 hours of like why it always comes back to that, right? And That is my compensation. I prefer one of the quintessential things to be able to have the courage to enter a partnership and even have the courage to have children after partnership is to ask yourself, your ideal situation moving forward isn't filled with a laundry list of things you have to control. So for example, someone would say, oh, my partner has to be smart and love to study science. Like, well, they could develop a love for science. Do they have to have science? Okay, so let's say they love science. That limits the pool already, and then you want to control for that. So how much of science do you want them to love? What type of science? Then you're going down the rabbit hole. And then you're like, okay, that's good enough. Next topic. They have to be athletic because I like a healthy lifestyle. Now you're setting up another line of things you cannot control. Well, they could develop a love for athletics because you do. Open communication. So most of the stuff funneled back to open communication. Maybe Procol and you are actually the same person. Have you ever seen us together at the same time? Luckily I have, but you might be joking. You think you're joking about that, but that's already happened a couple times. And it's very... I have my ways of discerning whether people are running multiple accounts and on multiple platforms, but not disclosing. So it has happened before. It's happened at least 3 or 4 times where someone wanted to have a conversation with themselves, but at my expense by running multiple identifications or doing the fun like cheeky thing like, hey, I'm this is the first time here, and it really wasn't the first time here because they changed their name, like their handle and stuff. So but I do joke about it a lot. It's like, are you sure you guys aren't the same person? You two are very different, by the way. Like, it's almost the statistical differences between the two of you are so far apart that it's highly improbable that you guys are the same person. It would be absolutely sociopathic levels of the way the two of you communicate. It would be incredibly impressive. Maybe like A-list actor and linguistic expert or something who has a bout of multiple personality disorders or something, or like a detachment multiple, because the two of you are light years different, and largely because I talked to both of you. So the more you talk, the less and less likely you are going to be alike unless you talk alike, which is not even close. Although you guys kind of live close enough to each other. Like, I mean, physically. Procol is from the UK. Close enough. I'm kidding. I'm like lumping all of Europe together. I mean, UK is still closer than me, right? So at least both of you are across the pond. Anyways, yeah. Interesting thought. I think if you can't say I'll take a chance every now and then, it will be very tough for companionship and or having children. So there's gotta be, again, moderation or a balance of wanting to take chances. Life has that beauty, right? If you think chances are not beautiful, fair enough. But it would be a strong argument for cognitive dissonance on interacting with other people. Interacting with people involves taking chances and normalizing chances. You can try to mitigate them as much as you want, and those things will likely make you less and less charismatic, right? Charisma is the extent of indiscriminate. You are able to make people feel welcome into your life. And it's a state of charisma, and people stay because of that. The higher and higher your self-selection is, the less and less you'll have opportunities. And I personally choose what my self-selections are, and then the rest is history, right? So I do both. Obviously, I'm not saying one or the other. Do both. Find your way. Anyways, let's see if any of the changes to the traditional curriculum that Kevin posted involves any of my existing vocabulary. No, it doesn't look like it. Breaking changes, inclined to restrain, no. Salary on and bridge, no. Updates, let's see, consult. Okay got changed. Oh, alternative meaning. Okay, so check this out. So I already added okay. It was not okay. I got triggered by this so hard. I typed okay. I spelled okay out and it was marked wrong. So, okay. So here's one. So they retroactively did that. I don't have any of these yet. To seek out, to stir. Salary, no. I have income. Escape. None of these yet. I don't have any of these. Okay, author. Okay, to run, to allow, not even to allow, to incline, to punish, to intimate, no. Reveal, no. I don't even have to that reveal. Flatter, jealous, swindle, mix sign, hope, accumulate. Wow, there's so many things. So many things that are changing before my eyes. Look at this list, man. Yeah, the only one that is relevant to me after the fact is go. That's it. Or sing. When it comes to making these companionships actually last, I feel like it also takes a certain mindset, which might be less prevalent nowadays when it comes to expectation. Yes, I agree. It definitely takes a certain mindset. And most of the stuff that I was talking about earlier contributes to that mindset. Like, it's part of that mindset. It's obviously not comprehensive because I'm trying not to talk for the next 6 hours about it. low-key trying to preserve some time. Largely because tomorrow is going to be peak day and I will try to bide my a reasonable amount of time. All right, so what did yesterday look like? It was okay. Yesterday was okay. Da-chong. Da-chong is since, right? So strike, to follow, strike, Da-chong. From, since, from now on. That's a little bit one that's on and off. I have an on and off relationship with Da-chong. Doran. Oh, this was a jerk reflex, but to conduct oneself. I knew that. Jerk reflex. 不过 不过 was a bit. It's however and but. I have a mixed relationship with this one too at the moment. 拿到 to get, but I went with like to obtain, to achieve. It's a lot of things. Get. 知己 myself, to know oneself. Oh, that's intimate. I think know self can be a synonym here. We're gonna say know self. Or self-awareness. I think self-awareness is good. Heading off to bed? Yeah, take care. Is there a Chinese equivalent to 頑張って加油 加油 is Add oil. 加油. I think this is still add in Japanese, right? I'm not sure if this... I think this deals with oil as well in Japanese. So it's still the same. Or it loosely translates to the same thing. 加油, add oil. Thanks. Yeah. This is the oil in soy sauce. And I don't know where add comes from in Japanese right now. Because the add something that I have is not the add with this character. So yeah, that's the typical one. Good night. Good night, Gecko. It was a pleasure. Thanks for hanging out. Good little side chats, right? Side chats. Always appreciate it. Keeps the momentum going. Oyasumi nasai. Buenas noches. Buenas noches. You don't have a Chinese keyboard installed, so just picture me saying it. You could type, hear me out before you go. You could type the characters for those. They're the same characters. So is your Japanese on point yet? You can type the same exact characters in Japanese. Yeah, multilingual things. Only multilingual things. Translingual opportunities here. You can type this character and this character in Japanese next to each other. I actually have no idea what this is. Yo. I'm pretty sure this is yo. Or a yo of some sort. But I don't know what this is. Ja? What could ja be? Ya? It could be a ya. But I can't think of a... Yeah. But anyways, for next time. I've seen other clever things before. Maybe a discussion for another time. I love when people use kana to tell me how to pronounce Spanish words. That's kind of my thing right now, using kana to practice pronouncing Spanish words. Oh, there it is. You got it. Yeah, 加油. Oh, can you tell me before you go what are the Japanese reads for that? Oh, you copied and paste. What would be the Japanese read for those? Like, do you know? Like, say it's an onyomi. Like, say it's a classical jukuko. What would be the reads for this character? For this word. Transliteration. So cool. Okay, sorry. Alright, so we're going to... I screwed up on Qing. I don't know why. Green. Lapse of judgment. And, 可是. 可是 is also however and but. These two howevers and buts. We're all up in that but situation now. And this is Jing. How the heck did I mess up Jing? Oh, eyeball. Jerk reflex. Fine. Today is a good day. We had a wonderful conversation. I get so pumped after a wonderful conversation. Alright. I'll tell you in the future. It'll be fun in the future for sure. One day I'm gonna describe all these Chinese characters by using the onyomi read of all the characters. Like, oh hey look. What is this? This is on. You know, on. Ju. I don't have this one yet. Oh, do I? No, I don't have this one yet. Or this one. Or this one. Eh? No, but there's so many I don't have. Ben? Ben? Neat. Okay.
迎接
Okay. 迎接 welcome. To invite, to greet. So to greet and welcome. Ooh. Oh, it's still to welcome or to greet. Okay. But with addition of meet. So this is to greet. This is to welcome. And together is to meet. Okay. To meet someone properly is to welcome and greet them. Alright, alright. 迎接迎接新的 challenge. No siree, I got nothing on that.
迎接新的挑战，
挑战到机场迎接一个朋友meet okay yeah, I see 迎接一个朋友迎接
迎接海运
海运sea, to carry by sea transportation is concerned with how best to carry things to different places via the sea. Add is just ka. Oh, which I remember with sanka. Oh, to participate. Yeah, sanka. Chanja is also participate. So that's chanja, and then oil is yu. Oh, they went with you, as in yeah, soyu. Yep, and soy sauce. Yep. Take care, Gecko. Yeah. So chanja. I forgot about that. Sanka. That's right. So closest would be Hayu. Hayu. Interesting. Neat. Haiyun. Haiyun. Ocean shipping. That's what I was thinking of. Ocean shipping. Sea transport. Alright. 我们试用 right, because we got this yesterday. 我们使用 oh yeah, 使用我们使用 was he in the bathroom or the basement? I feel like it was in the basement. So 我们使用海运运送 oh deliver goods 运送 something
我们使用海运运送货物，
货物我们使用海运运送货物 goods 货物 okay 海运oh man 海运 not quite rolling off the tongue there.
晚安
晚安 okay 晚安明天见 right 晚安明天见下次见 yeah okay 好晚 okay Say goodnight. The heck? 道晚安。
道晚安。
道晚安。道 for say? Huh.
晚安。动画。
动画 anime, of course, or animation. Since I would say animation more. Because 动画。我很喜欢看动画。你最喜欢哪一部 What is this? 节？哪一节动画？
你最喜欢哪一部动画？
Boo. It's Boo. It's Boo. Okay. 一部动画，一 different Boo. So 一部动画。
你最喜欢哪一部动画？
Yeah, 部动画。Okay.
动画。普通话。
普通话。Okay, so we finally got it. 普通话。Alright, in China, if you talk in Mandarin, you are universally communicating, yeah. Oh, and you can just write 普通话. Yeah, 普通话 is 普通话. I'm not even sure if it's Mandarin. It's just 普通话 is 普通话. Largely because 普通话 means common tongue. So you could have a 普通话 kind of where like 普通话 for me is not 普通话or Mandarin, but you know, standard. It's standard Chinese. Yeah. 普通话普通话说的很漂亮。普通话普通话说的很漂亮。OK。大多 I know you. What are you? Foreman? Wait, that's not it. Yes, it's this is the 数, right? So 大多数 the majority 大多数中国人都听得到 maybe 听得到普通话。
大多数中国人都听得懂普通话。
懂 That's right. 懂 like yes, should have known that. I was saying 到 is more like 听得到 like oh they understand it as well, like it's a different way to express like you're able to hear it as opposed to I guess you hear it with understanding 懂 but I think it's still the same actually. It's like a synonym thing. 你听得到吗 right? Do you understand? Interesting. I'll say 普通话。
普通话。
普通话。All right, off to the races, and it's gone.
迎接。
迎接。海运。
海运。
海运 okay. I'm not sure about the 海运 versus 海运。海运 That's some samples. 海运 Okay, we'll go with it though. 海运。晚安。
晚安，
动画 wrong tone, my bad. 动画普通话
普通话，
All right, off we go. Direction and orientation is still direction. Actually, it's direction plus direction equals direction. The directed direction. Okay. Orientation. I do need to remember orientation though for... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, direction, orientation is still direction. And I actually added direction for direction. More roughly the same, but direction is more commonly used. Interesting. 方向他 something 他 asa 他 morning 学校的 morning school. No. Oh, interesting. It doesn't actually have... It's like lost. Something dealing with morning. 学校的方向走了。
他朝学校的方向走了。
他朝学校的方向走了。I do not remember you still. 主去 no. No. 湖北去 I don't know. Okay, so 去江 something I don't know. What is it? Correct. What could it be? 江距方向，
指出正确方向。
wait.
指出正确方向。这
样去 Why does it sound weird, this part?
指出正确方向。
这样去 It sounds like 这样去 I mean, I thought it was J-U, not Q-U-E. And 只去张去 It almost... It's written as 去 but it sounds like 去 Interesting.
指出正确方向。
Or 降距 It sounds like 降距 I need to check on that in the future too. 方向
使用
使用 something to use and truly use is still to use or to utilize. Yep. 使用你会不会使用这什么counter for machine. It looks similar to machine. Let's say die. 这台机key. So 机器 or just say 机器。
你会不会使用这台机器？
Yeah, 机器. And the only way I knew T is because it's key. DT, because of Japanese. DT. I remember writing this character for an electronics store. 你会不会使用这台 Okay, it's two. And the only way I know is it's die. Die for Japanese. 这 这台机器 interesting。你会使用这个电脑吗？Okay, that's fine. We can read a little bit.
使用但是
oh no, we have our third however and but. Okay, so let's collect them. 但是 and it's gone. 不 something. And then 可是但是可是不 something. 那不是not something. I'll remember later. Yeah, we have 3 buts. Lots of buts. Literally 3 buts right now. Okay, this is 退 no. 虽日 yeah 虽日 no 虽然 oh, that makes sense now. I can read the 虽 and then make the adjustment to 让虽然喜欢茶但是我不常喝 oh yeah, the but is like this is provided because I like for the sake or like I like tea while I like tea but I don't drink it often, or like provide, you know, I do like tea although I like tea but I don't often drink it, but it just comes off as I like tea but I don't often drink it because it's implicit. 这个城市不大，yeah 不大，但是很漂亮。Okay, all right, got some good ones.
但是通知
I don't know the other 2 buts because I used 但是 instead of the other 2 buts that were already introduced. Oh, hey, there's the daily Twitch bot that's reminding me I'm also live on Twitch. Thank you for reminding me that my Twitch feed is still working. To communicate, to know, right? To communicate, which is to notify. To communicate with them so they know, to notify them or to inform them. Yes. I would also probably add to tell. Telling, told, tell. Qing 请把我们的 something 定 or 定通知他
请把我们的决定通知他。
决定通知他 Oh, I guess I should have known that. 决定 off the thing. 请把 Oh, it's 3, not 2. 请把我们的决定通知他。我会通知他的。通知你的。对。欢迎。
通知
You hear this a lot. 通知。
不但
Okay, 不但 not only, of course. So this is the companion to Budan is the companion to 而且他不但会 yeah 他不但会different speak. I was gonna say sure, but I don't know what this is. Speak 英语 oh, so is this 欢会 no 美会还会 right 还会 can be 欢会还会 speak again 中文
他不但会讲英语，还会讲中文。
讲 oh that 讲 the chatting 讲 oh right the chatting 讲他不但会讲英语还会讲中文他不但 oh there's 而且 the 而且 and 不但他不但聪明他不但聪明而且用球
他不但聪明，而且用功。
Oh my god, I picked the wrong one. Okay, fine.
不但
yeah, gotta not mix them up. Yeah.
方向
不但
但是通知使用不安
not peace. I mean, that's great. No peace, not unpeaceful. Unpeaceful. I don't think have I ever used unpeaceful before in English? I don't think I'm not even sure if I've ever used unpeaceful. Is that a word? Hold up. Well, it most certainly is. Unpeaceful. 不安他感到 no feel 觉得他觉到 no it can't be another 觉maybe 尝到他尝到不安
他感到不安。
it is gun dang it should have went with my I should have went with my gut feeling on that one 他感到不安这是一个不安的地方 place 地方非常不安all right we're gonna go with not peaceful kind of weird to say unpeaceful for me
笔直
笔直, perfectly straight. Okay, so we got the straight recently. So this is a great way to reinforce that straight, which is a single component as well, meaning the same thing. And then, right, the rope coming from the ceiling, going from the basement to the ceiling. James Bond, got it. And then B, which is pen. If something is as straight as a pen, then it's perfectly straight. Oh, that's a great way to look at it. I didn't even think of it that way. Oh, straight as a pen. I like it. 笔直的马路哦，笔直的马路，笔直走 walk straight ahead， 笔直走。There's no one in it. I kind of thought maybe like 往笔直走， like in the direction perfectly straight, or 笔直往走 no 往笔直走。But it's already implied that you're walking ahead in a straight line. Interesting.
笔直
perfectly straight like a pen. I
实
like
力
it. 实力 use power to exert force. To use power. Okay, all right. I'm good. You got me. Let's go. 他实力关上了刷 No, that's 卡住的门。
他使力关上了卡住的门。
卡住 What is the 卡住的门。Jammed 卡住 Interesting. 他实力 lift something T. I mean TT. Glove or no, that's not glove. TT something heavy 重的 Oh, I'm supposed to know box at this point. No chance.
他使力抬起沉重的箱子。
箱 Dang. What is this? Tai. Okay, so it's taking the right. IT. 长重的箱子。OK.
实力故
Deliberately. I was thinking more like story, but okay. Goofy is in the bathroom of the house. Cleaning a headstone. Go on. That he pulled out the front yard earlier. The foreman came in and hits him, again angry that he would deliberately defile a grave. Goofy, not expecting the blow to his head, drops the headstone and then shatter across the bathroom tile. Of course, he did not drop it deliberately. Wait a minute. Oh wait, he's cleaning the headstone that he pulled from the bathroom. And foreman went thwack for him divine. Okay. Deliberately. Interesting. 故意 Oh yeah. Yeah. 故意 Illusion. 典故 Yeah, 故事. Story was my. So deliberate matter. Deliberate matter is a story. Interesting. Yeah, they went with deliberately, but deliberate meaning. Actually, I don't know about Yi. What is Yi supposed to be? Heart, sun, stand. Yoshi in the bathroom of the house. Did I get sun, heart, stand yet? I think I did. 故事. Alright, this is new. You interpret this as deliberately. Intended matter. Cold matter. What do I get to deliberate for story? Whoops.
故
It's fine. We'll work on it.
言
Yen. Yep. Yen. Again. Yu yen. And it still checks out with words, our component words. Okay, and this is gonna be tough. It would have been tough if I didn't already know yen. Yoshi is inside the pawn shop, running around trying to knock down some words that are floating around with his spotted eggs. Afraid they might bump into one of the vintage objects hanging on the wall. Okay, the vintage objects gives away the pawn shop. Okay, words, say, and word. Okay, so they have say. Okay. Yeah. Yu yen. Oh. Liu Yan. Proclamation. Chuan Yan. Chuan Yan. Chuan Yan. Shen Yan. Oh, no. This is Shen Yan. Shen Yan. Another rumor. Lots of words. Okay.
言
Okay. Ooh,
故
my T double tapped.
比值
Buan.
不安 言
Right.
实力
Right. Next one. Dao for horn. Oh no. No corners here. Oh, this is a horn. But not horns as in horns. Come on, Kevin. You need to help me out here. Imagine if the moon. I'm not sure how I feel about thinking that's a moon. Imagine if the moon had a gigantic dagger fused with a rod, okay, many miles long planted into it. It would be a horn of sorts. And most horns have a crescent moon like curve to them as well. This one's gonna. Of course it's horn. Yeah, right. Yeah, but I don't really know. How does
角
help me out here. Oh no, a horn is a horn. Incoming problem. Jimmy Neutron is in the cellar of the barn, sorting through piles and piles of cow. And then now he's using it as horns, so it does relate to the horns. Horns on the dirty cellar floor. He is trying to find the optimal horn for one of his experiments. None of the horns even compare to his crazy horn-like hair. Honestly, how are we gonna write horn? Okay. Yeah, it's corner as well. It works with corners. Ugh. So they chose. I see. Corner instead of horn. Oh my gosh! And there's corner. Okay, we're adding corner. Well, I might as well unify this. A corner. Yeah. Yeah, 3 corners work as 3 horns too. 三角牛角, right? Makes sense. And then there's corner of the mouth, 嘴角. And then 立角 or 鹿角.
Jiao.
What? So Jimmy Neutron is just looking for horns, cow horns, in order to experiment. None of the horns even compare to his crazy horn-like hair. I mean, true.
或
At some point I knew or. The Hulk is in the bathroom of the office building. Whereas where he is working under a psychopathic middle manager. Alright. His manager tells him he has to pick up the halberd from the ground with his mouth or he will be fired. The Hulk, in a fit of rage, ripped off his collared shirt and tie, begins to hit the middle manager who presented such an absurd either or scenario to him. Ultimatum, but okay. Okay. Well, maybe. Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
或他
Okay, this one I'm fine. Do I need anything from this? Not really. Tarzan is in front of the auditorium where he's playing with a dollhouse. He has no dolls, so he used little spoons to represent these people instead. It is quite a sight to see, so there are some tuxedoed guests outside watching him play with it instead of going to see the play, which is a reenactment of It, a play about a murderous clown. Okay. And Faye. 其他 still the other.
他
Oops.
助
Ooh. To assist or help There it is. We might as well. Nope. Okay. Ooh. What do we have for this? Asu. Asu. Askeru. Okay. George Costanza is in the bathroom of the house trying to move a bookshelf into it so that he looks more sophisticated. A muscular arm assists him moving the bookshelf through the door. Yeah, this is going to assist him to look so sophisticated. Okay, I got you. I got you. Oh yeah, this is the jewel of Banju. Where's Banju at? Banju. Yeah, Bang. Yeah? Yeah, Bang, right? Yeah. How was Bang? Bang. Okay. Bart Simpson was in front of the chapel. I think he put some bricks into some white towels and took charge. Something about measuring. What the heck was the caliper for? Well, if I forget it, I suppose. They're both help. Or one's help, one's...
住
Oh boy. Alright.
他住
And it's gone. Someone. But who is it in the bathroom? No. Hulk.
或
The heck? These are filled with suck. There's so much suck about these. Alright, horns. It was Jimmy Neutron. Stellar of Barn. Was it Jimmy Neutron? It was Jimmy Neutron. If it was Jimmy Neutron, what would it be? Oh, yes.
脚
Y'all. Okay. Tomorrow's gonna be different. That's for sure. All right, let's lock in. Okay.
今年
我今年要学中文。
细知觉
恢复知觉。
Can't spell consciousness.
思考，
他思考了许多天这个问题。
To contemplate. Yeah, I mean that is what that is. There's no way around it. It's on and off for 思考. Reason why I said try is because Kyle is in it. But you're supposed to. Yeah, that's just tough. That one's just tough in general.
子，其他，
有些语言比其他语言难学。
外套，
他没有穿外套。
排，
What is this? Patrick is in high school. With some. That took a bit.
酒，
Oh no. Okay.
课，又是，
今天又是一个雨天。
边，
Order.
因，手套，
这两只手套不配对。
市场，
国际市场。
挺身，
他挺身而出。
海水，
这里的海水很浅。
Ah! Oh, tap water. Wait, what? Oh, seawater. Whoops. I mean, seawater is kind of salt water.
高贵，
出身高贵。
商业，
在工业、商业、财政方面。
饿，科，挺身而出，
在危急时刻，他挺身而出。
结改和晴天
晴天比雨天舒服。
可是
这里很美，可是太冷了。
经变福往
Oh, it's not direction, but I think I added direction. Toward, yeah. Forward.
因
See Walter. My bad. The heck? Jiaoru? That doesn't seem. A torch and foreman. Yeah. It's not this. Oh. Shoal. Oh, that's Shoal. Okay. A bakery. A Shrek. Shoru. Oh. Income. Right.
花心
花心男人，
I rushed that. I should have slowed down there. That shouldn't have been a mistake. Oh, 1-4. 1-4 typo. Okay, I really need to slow down a little.
衣服
I did
他
a
每
one.
天都穿一样的衣服。
It's been a while since I did the 1-4. 1-4 typo. Is it 2 or 3? It's clearly 2. Oh! Wait, no. Yeah, it's clearly 2. Oh, no. It's 4. How's it 4? Almost. Yeah. Look at Cha. The sheep dressed up as a okay, Charlie Brown, sure, dressed up as a sheep for the play that's going on. A real sheep comes in and realizing he differs, hits him with a crossbeam. He's mad that ugh, that one's kind of sucky, really sucky. That's not. Can you not click on the same thing? Thanks. This
西
one
南
shouldn't have
它在我
been.
们的西南方，
I should have slowed down. That shouldn't have been an error.
旁边
小学旁边是一座公园。
字 病人
他是一位病人。
屋 外号
他的外号叫
粗
Wrong tone on 4. Fine, I guess. That's kind of aggressively annoying. I wrote the wrong tone again. Alright, we need to recover here.
面试
你需要准备面试。
So, how did I screw this one up? I don't know where this is. Definitely Jimmy Neutron. It could be anywhere with the moon. It can be anywhere. Oh, because it's not Jimmy Neutron. Geez, it could be anyone too with this. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we have no words yet, right? Yeah, no words with this. Yikes. We knew that. We knew that was gonna be a problem from yesterday.
电脑
我没有电脑。
So triggered right now.
左右
8点钟左右，
玉
Be anyone in the house for this to happen. And yeah, anyone.
G
Wait, why was it Yugi though? I gotta look at that again. I don't understand why Yugi would be smart enough to wear an elbow pad. Unless I'm confusing it with a different mnemonic. That's probably what was throwing me off. I thought it was Jimmy Neutron because he was being clever to protect his elbow, but I might be using a different mnemonic. I wrote the wrong tone again. Today is filled with wrong tones.
参加
我要去参加派对。
收入，
总收入，
电影院，
我不喜欢去电影院。
I can't. What? How do you use theater?
爬上，
山太高了，我没爬上去。
课文，
这篇课文很有趣。
长生不老，
世上不可能有长生不老的人。
杯子，
杯子砸了，
呢，
I should have wrote. I should have added more to this. I guess I'm gonna guess. How about? Yeah, I'm gonna add more of this. How about you and you? Oh, question particle. Okay. Okay. Um.
认清，
认清是非。
To see clearly. Oh my goodness! Of all the things, oh my. I thought I had it all. I really did. I thought I had it all.
四斤，
那只狗有4斤重。
Yeah, today's one of those days. Definitely one of those days.
称，店面，
那个店面很脏。
少数，
少数服从多数。
冷，玩弄，
别玩弄那钢笔啦。
正在，
他正在看一本书。
前后，
前后半小时。
王位，
继承王位。
花， 校友，
我去了校友会的活动。
Oh, dang it, that's alumni. Once again, comes back. Comes back again.
"去年，
我去年这时候在台湾。
的，对，吃，目前，
我目前没有这个打算。
关，青春，
青春不在。
几千，
几千年的时间。
房间，
我的房间很暗。
That's also bedroom. Don't even at me right now.
电网，
世界上第一个电网。
9000，
它的战斗力超过9000。
难忘，
他的笑容令人难忘。
份，
this has got to be something else, right? It can't be older brother, can it? Oh, I guess it can. Save me.
气味，
一股馨香的气味。
背后，
我去躲在门背后。
拉票，
他拉票时很热情。
The heck? Wait, hold up. Magic stick in a. I really. Oh, it's Jun. Oh my goodness, yeah, it's James Bond in front being upset with the thing and pointing. Picks out a gun. Oh my gosh, yeah. That's not helpful. Oh, back on the pile you go. Today is that day again.
拉开
拉开窗帘，
To take out is also another one. Yep, I should have added this the last time too. So today is filled with plugging. Plugging.
粘
So much plugging.
差点
他差点哭出来。
Yeah, today was awful. Still average, but awful. Average feels awful now. I think we gotta. I don't know if I like it. Yeah, see. Synonym. Synonym, knew the meaning, but typed too quickly. 4-1 mix. Or just wrong tone. I typed so many wrong tones today. Wrong tone. Not that it's just being lazy. So many back-to-back wrong tones. Wrong 1-4 wrong tone, 1-4 wrong tone. Wrong tone. This one was tough. I 1-4 wrong toned, and then or 2-4 one tone. It's just 4 and 1s all day long. This one is tough too. I think I should just default to consider, because consider is one of them. Trying to think about different ways to say to think about is still consider. So it keeps throwing me off every time I try to think of more integrating the two. The right hand character throws you off to the left hand character. The left hand character is dominant. This one, so many things could be this one. To understand clearly, to see clearly is to like see through everything without clouded judgment, like without masking. So it's to have an understanding, to understand. And of all the things I've added, I clearly missed to understand. To take out is to pull out, to pull open. Seawater, that was a little weird. But what do I do about this one? This one's... So Yugi wears elbow pads, yeah. If he gets anything wrong, then it hits him on the elbow. So Yugi... Oh, it doesn't even say anything about being intelligent. This is the power of... That's what the link was, the education moon card. That one's kind of weak. That's from yesterday. That's fine. How many is that? 6, 13? It's on the high end. I think every time I get across like 10 errors, it feels awful. Especially when the vast majority of them, if the vast majority of them deal with interpretive synonyms. And I think some of them don't capture the meaning in the sentence. Like Fangjian. But I think today's most awful feeling is 6 of them were tone typing errors. Not tone not knowing what the tone is, but just tone typing errors. Okay. Well, maybe tomorrow will be different. I don't see a lot of reds, so that's pretty good. This one was, that's just not good. These two have the same problems, right? Yeah, same problems. It could be happening to anyone is the problem. I couldn't figure out the initial. The initial was problem. Like what initial was this? I could not think of who is interacting with this, and I couldn't figure out who was interacting with this. And this one doesn't have a final, so if I don't know the initial, I just don't know it. I don't have a prototypic word for it yet, right? Yeah, so there's no word to bounce off as well. The alternative is to have a word that's related to it, so I can be like, oh, yeah, that's right. And I guess education is the closest thing I'm gonna have. This is new to me. I think one of the things is for both Wanikani and HanziHero, I do not like the idea of locking words behind the characters. So to me, introducing a prototypic word with the characters serve as an additional association mnemonic, which it makes sense that early on you're learning how to decipher the characters, right? So you're trying to decipher the characters in order to get into the vocabulary. But I don't think there's a need to be. I can change that on HanziHero. That's not the point of what I'm doing right now. That has nothing to do with the point of why I'm doing it. I wouldn't know this, and I wouldn't be able to do this and test this if I changed it. So, will I change it in the future? Not really, since errors has anything. I'm not upset about it. And I'm aware you can change it. But that's not the point that I'm making. It is the point that I'm making that there's no reason to. I just meant that it gives you the option to learn how you want to. Yeah. And again, my point is I don't want to learn how I want to. I'm making commentary on how they want you to learn. So I get what you mean. It's not how I want to learn. But when I'm making a criticism, it's not like I'm saying I want to learn it that way. I'm saying I don't necessarily think you need to separate them. So maybe perhaps my explainer is not clear that it's irrelevant what I want. I'm saying it can be that way. I wouldn't be using a product like this if I wanted it the way I wanted it, in my opinion. Thanks for the suggestion. Alright, so let's go over our stuff for today. Back when you started using it, it was character plus word together. Didn't know they changed the default. Oh, character and word together? I see. Yeah, they changed it when they implemented. It's actually kind of ironic. They changed it because it's closer to Anki. I'm pretty sure that's when they changed it. But you can't satisfy everyone. I think that was the idea behind it. I think it's negligible, the difference between them. curious what they decide to do, but there's an option, so I guess they didn't actually change it, but yeah, they might have changed the default. But since there's an option, it's an option. And this is only, and obviously you probably came in at a very specific time, but I'm only talking about these. I'm not talking about any other characters. So like this character is different from these. The reason why this character can may use another character in relation is because this component is one thing. So it's a very specific case. The reason why these are coming up is largely because their mnemonics are not exclusive, no, but a lot of the others are fine. All the others are they stick out a lot. So now we're getting into the fine situation where it's only very particular characters. So you turn something on, you can't necessarily turn on just for a very specific one. If I were min-maxing, it's irrelevant when we get this because HanziHero has no soft gate. So regardless of what you do, you're still going forward at the pace you want. The feedback you get is a little different, right? Depending on it. So as long as I maintain a 92 to 93%, 90%, no matter how fast I go, it's still the rate that I find acceptable. Wanikani, on the other hand, has soft lock, so I approach Wanikani entirely different. That one has a 99% correction rate. So most of my accuracy from day to day is 98 to 99%. So you can adjust to this. My choice in the way I'm approaching HanziHero is for the interest of time. So this is well within the usual limit. So half of these are synonym errors most of the time. Not today though. 6 of them are tone types, which that's largely because I'm impatient today. And 2 of these, this one and this one, are actual errors that I would consider concerning errors, and that's when I made the comment about having associated thing. But these would be less cases. These are lesser cases. So changing a default for this, I would say it would be an argument for their change to default. Like, I kind of understand from my observations regarding these 2 particular cases, it would be the opposites. I would probably unlikely to change it. Yeah, if you get it wrong because of a synonym or something, you can press Control Z to enter it. You likely already know this and intentionally do it. But if anyone else was watching and didn't know, oh, that's interesting. No, I didn't know you can press Control Z. That's interesting. I guess that's useful. So what, does it just take back it? Huh. I didn't know you can do that. I just enter the synonym afterwards and then move along. It goes away the next day, you know what I mean? Because the thing comes back the next day. So all of these things are going to come back the next day. Where I added all the synonym. Oh, okay. Yeah, the nice thing about is like a redo option. I see. The nice thing about again, like no big deal here. Again, there's no like soft gate. So if there's anything you do in terms of synonyms, is you enter the synonym wrong or right, and it comes back the next day. Oh, and if you hit Control Z, does it not show up here anymore? It would probably disrupt my workflow at this point. You'll do it for situations where you wrote like father and it wants papa. Oh yeah. Yesterday, I kid you not, Jacob. Yesterday, I can't line this up better. So 2 days ago on Wanikani, right? Something came back. Out of all the days, the component this component came back, right? And I typed mama, and that was wrong because they wanted mother. All right, and on the same exact day, it's the following day after the lesson that mama was introduced in HanziHero. So this was it. I know. We'll get to that at the 100 review. The 100-day review is when I'm gonna switch up some stuff on WaniKani to like spice up the experience, but not until 100 days. I got this yesterday, so the previous day, but today is a repeat, you know, it's a review, because once you do the lesson, you get the review the very next day. And I typed mama and got it wrong, and it was mother. The same exact day on the review. And there's more. On the same exact day in Duolingo Spanish, I got mama. And Duolingo does word associations. So some of the prompts ask for madre instead of mama. And I got it wrong. Some of these days, today is a table flip day. I gotta flip a table. I really need like something that I can just chuck. You can only laugh about these kind of things. Okay, real talk though. Dan Shi. Right? Oh wait, what was the other one? Hang on. I swear. Hold on. What you call it? Is it? Yeah. So, 不过，可是，但是, like within 3 days of each other. Yikes. Like I default to 但是, but they introduce 不过 and 可是 a little bit before, like a few days before. Or actually, 不过 might be a little bit even earlier. And all three of these mean but or however. That's a lot of buts. I mean, I don't openly talk about butts too much, but like I'm not. We don't talk about butts here too much, like that type of butts. But that's a lot of butts. That's a lot of butts. They're not all even in the same year. They're just cleverly staggered. Anyways, it's fine. Oh, the Control Z thing is really interesting. Oh, and I'm okay with that. I want them to appear down here. So I really like HanziHero's, like not this very particular aspect of HanziHero is great. So like no soft gates, right? So no soft gates. So sometimes any minuscule mistake that I make, I want them to show up here. And so I can, because I'm going to go through the review now, like I'm going to review at the end. WaniKani on the other hand, because of soft gating, I need to circumvent the soft gate. But again, well, what day is it today on WaniKani? It's 83, right? Yeah. In 17 days, I'm going to do my 100-day review, right? My 100-day progress report. And in WaniKani, I'm going to be talking about 8 things about WaniKani, and all 8 of those things are going to change with scripts. for the next 100 days. HanziHero, I actually have no complaints about HanziHero, really. It's interesting. I think Kevin is fairly close to how I would go about doing this. However, the comments I'm making are like telling myself like I really need to do something. Like there's no spot checking. Like you, default options must apply to the majority, right? Like the functions. I really like Kevin's choices. I think Kevin's choices are fantastic by default even. Largely because there are places where you reflect, and you know, this was recent. Adding ranges, hooey. I can't. The first day this was released, like this thing was released, I'm like, I'm using this. I know exactly how I'm going to use this, and that's how I'm going to use it. And I've been using it since day one. Right? That this is how I track like blitz through 2 or 3 times the volume in Wani compared to Wanikani, and then any minuscule differences and stuff, it's not penalized to review it, so it fits my workflow very well. You like the site so much you offered to work on it for free for Kevin in need of assistance? That's really nice of you. Yeah, I was a little worried here. Like, this is a little tidbit about Kevin. I was a little worried that it's been over a month since he had an update, and today was when he updated, which he updated. The only thing, I look through his patch notes now because it could be retroactive. The only thing that's relevant to me right now is Xing. So Xing got changed, and look, I already did it. Because one time I typed okay and it got marked wrong. It's like, dude, that is not okay. That is totally not okay. So I already added it, but he already went back and added it. So that was the only one in the patch notes in the curriculum update that was actually relevant. So now I can remove this, which is really funny. No, you know what? We're gonna leave it in for posterity. Just for posterity. That's cool. I still can't believe he and Phil are the only people working on this. Because Wanikani has more than one. At first I thought it was largely Ko and maybe like Viet, but you hear a lot of comments from the others. Or swap between the two, like having 2 accounts or something. Oh yeah, you think the one thing you would request that they still don't support is the ability to do both at the same time? Yeah, I would love to do the same thing. So I checked as well. Me too. I agree. So after the 100-day review, right, I was thinking, well, what happens if I switch? So I clicked on it and it said something like, oh, be careful, it's synced to this, so you're gonna sync it to your position of stuff. It's like, oh, that's... So it's not compartmentalized like Duolingo, for example, you know, where it just tracks all the separate categories, right? So it would be cool because I would love to blitz. I would like to get like a turn it to the max and do a simplified one. They don't even have to be synchronized. They just have to, like, for me, I would love to do it all over again. For simplified Chinese. I'm getting close to where there are most largely unfamiliar words, but so far it's still relatively there. In your opinion, you live in a society. All right, that's good. That's basically it. Okay. All right. Hello there, Curdle. How was my weekend? Wait. Today's Sunday. Oh yeah. You were here for most of my weekend, Curdle. It's fine. It's good. Hmm? Lots of talk. Yesterday we talked about how to resolve a relational conflict. And then we talked about food a lot. as a social experiment. Oh there, SD. Yeah, we're about to wrap up HanziHero, so let's get our HanziHero wrapped up. Yeah, and Jacob's here. Probably have a busy life. Actually, are you still having a busy life, or has it been winding down, Jacob? Even though you're like randomly volunteering to take on more work. I do appreciate you sharing that detail though. That's very like you. And I like people like that. Very neat. Oh man, what is this? Horn? Oh boy. Actually, Jacob, are you using WaniKani right now? At the same time as you're using HanziHero? I feel like I want to have like a heart-to-heart talk with someone who's like compulsorily using both at the same time, because there's so many funny things that can only happen when you're using both. like this would be a great example right here. Today's thing was horn, right? I'm like, horn, like horn, and then you read the mnemonic is like, oh, it's the horn. But then Kevin's mnemonic incorporates horns and like tusk horns and horns, and then suddenly the example words deal with corners, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna type corner into there. Thank you WaniKani and HanziHero. It's corner and horns. That's it's pretty much the life of, if you're using WaniKani and HanziHero, it's been a journey at most. Like every time you pause, like, okay, so it's not these things, so it's got to be this thing, right? You definitely make use of Control-Z for that type of stuff as well. It's fine. Well, it's not fine on WaniKani, but we'll address that soon, right? After the 100 days, we'll address that. But it's fine on HanziHero. I'm okay with that. Like, if it gets bopped to the bottom, it only reminds me of what I know on WaniKani. So good. Japanese. In your opinion, we live in a society that's basically it. Japanese. LTO. What's going on here? Random question. Do you take notes for anything? This is my notes taking. I take the same notes over and over again every single day. Right now, I speak my notes. I do take notes on the screen, so that is me taking the notes. And if I ever need to look at the notes, it's at the end and at the beginning of a stream. So you'll see the notes at the beginning, at the end of the stream. That's why I did, that it's been set deliberately for that reason. So I'm doing it at the end right now. These would be my notes for today. And then you look through all the streams, and it's at the end of every single stream. And then the remembering of the notes is at the beginning of every stream session. So a live session would have 3 or 4 things going on, but then all of the sections would be cut off and placed on the YouTube channel, and I go literally to those videos and skip to the end to see my notes on screen. So I'm writing on the screen for myself too. Yeah. So not a random question, and I do it every single day. I write notes every single day. The stories that we talk about, you know, like the dialogue about, like yesterday when we were talking about France or like immigration, political tension, that stuff I do write about, but I don't write about it in a notes situation. I write about it in like a journal and my own personal thoughts kind of notes, and I practice those things. So whenever someone asks me a question about those things, I have already rehearsed and prepared. It's what I was describing about how I'm going to learn to use my target language in the future. I learn to use my target language in the future by writing ideas down in the target language. So how do I present an idea about political tension with immigration? I write it and I speak it like how I would present it. So the stories that I tell, I'm not sure if people dislike this aspect, but most of the stories that I tell, at least I would say the majority of them are rehearsed. They are rehearsed. So I incorporate 30 to 40% of things that are happening in the moment, and it's built off of leading to the story that I have come prepared. So I sit here every day, like when someone asks me, you know, I think you might have been here for when, or someone, pro call asked me like, what do I look for in a partner, right? Like a question like that. I've prepared something for that. So speaking 4 hours mean I at least, oh, that was Curdle. Sorry, Curdle asked me. Yeah, Curdle asked me, not pro call. Curdle asked me what I look for in a partner. So I've already prepared that from practicing. I think it helps ease my mind. And earlier today, Gecko and I were reflecting on the colleagues, speaking of having insufficient representation. So earlier today, we were talking about having intellectual conversation based on information in order to have proper representation. So when you make an opinion and an observation about politics and stuff, you're kind of concerned with representation. And I drew like a box and whisker plot talking about the association between the perceived knowledge idealism versus like ignorance, and how ignorance can be leveraged to make trust, which leads to like raising children and decision making. All of that was already written in advance. Many of those connections I think about every day, and the reason why I do this is because I find it very difficult to sleep, and like I have problems with, I usually refer to them as mania, like manic thoughts. So I keep recorded devices, maybe a notepad next to the bed, and you write them down. When you write them down, sometimes it gives you a little breather to sleep. So if you think about a lot of things, that's how I go about it. You got Obsidian a few hours ago to try and organize all your thoughts and notes and stuff, and I just want to put it to use. Oh, yeah, I see. Obsidian, huh? Oh, by the way, SD, I totally looked up the the way the French person demonstrate the is so funny. It sounds so apathetic when you're saying it. It's like, You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Korean, like, uh, 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 uh. That is close to the net. I would agree with the net. I think Jacob would have a better, throwback on that. The ne everything. And then in Fujianese I would be like, let me see, let me get into character. Okay. Janea. Jane. Yeah, like or abai. So abai. Jane abai. Jane. So it's like, it's the closest thing to what we were talking about in Spanish. Like, oh, es verdad. Verdad. Yes. Sí, verdad. Uh-huh. Yes. I know. That kind of thing. Like, I know, right. Got it. And that's like Jane. Abai. Abai. Okay, abai. So that was like the Anyways, let me finish this and we can switch to Duolingo Spanish first. How do you feel about my growth? One of my coworkers told me, yeah, I've seen you growing, so that was very nice to hear. What do you see you growing? Curdle? You? That's kind of cute. Wait, a coworker just came up to you and said like my own growth. I know, but my own growth as what? Like, how do I measure the growth? Oh, my own growth. How do I measure my own growth? That's a really excellent question. A ruler? My own growth. Well, for now, right, for this, every waking moment, every waking word that I speak is recorded for posterity, and that is growth. For me. So how do I measure? This is gonna sound so hypocritical, but every time I upload a video is growth. There's a big asterisk about the video though. These are journey videos, right? So I'm learning something. So it's proportional. It's proportional to every video that I make. Now, other people might not feel like growth because they're looking at progress. And progress is more like progress towards a goal. So I don't have a goal in mind at the moment. My goal, I guess my goal is to stream a day. Maybe exchange dialogue. And then record it. For one day, I'll look back. Now, what's another way to measure? I plan out a year in advance most of the time for immediate goals. So like there are certain goals, right? But these goals do not have a failed process of progress. So there are no fail goals, if you will. They're specifically planned in order to be experienced, right? So for example, once this month is over, I start new projects, and I think I'm going to change them too. So April is going to be different now. So starting April, we're going back to Wagotabi, and then while Wagotabi is happening, because it's been updated for 3 months now, there's a new patch every month. So we're going back to Wagotabi, and then while that's happening, March 31st this year, a game called So to Speak is being released, and it is a from zero journey game for Japanese. So before I go back to Duolingo Japanese, which was April's goal, right? April's plan, we're gonna play 2 Japanese games to grow, to put it in there, because I want to do something a little different. And that's how I measure things. How many projects I can do and how many things I can record. Like I don't want to give the misimpression that it's not about the number goes up. It is about doing things. I want to do things. I want to keep doing things. Whether they improve my outlook on life and stuff, not so much anymore. So that's how I measure it. In fact, it's gonna sound like it cheapens everything, but if I get up and I'm excited to do something, that's growth. that has the potential for growth. I think if I worked a project, like, I mean, if someone gave me a criteria to fulfill, then there might be different ways of measuring growth. I don't think people come up to me every day and say, that's true, because you could be depressed or stuck in a rut. Yeah, that could happen, right? So, I actually think the reason why I wanted to say that for sure is in case people get the wrong idea. Number goes up is actually a very dangerous way of misinterpreting your growth and misinterpreting your progress. Because when the number goes up, if it goes down, it's not negative progress to me. So I have to keep that in mind to distinguish. Number goes up here. So the more things I do, the more growth I have as a person. It's not a passive thing. It's not like, oh yeah, let me just spam videos and that makes me feel like my growth is better. No, it's always going to be one video every day with my heart on the line and investing as much as I can into every encounter. That's not going to change, right? The effort is not going to change. And that is personal growth. Now, in terms of people who tell me that I have grown a lot, that's kind of weird. And it doesn't happen too often, largely because what I do, in my opinion, it takes a very long time and you have to be very patient to see the growth happen, right? It's easier if someone didn't see someone for a very long time and they see a very long difference. So those people who do hang out with me, the growth is so slow that we basically don't see each other grow. We see each other share more and more experiences, and then suddenly one day, 2 or 3 months down the road, it's like, can you believe it's already 6 months? I know, right? That kind of growth is probably the closest type of experience I would have for someone, with someone when it comes to that type of thing. And it gets odder and odder the older I get, right? I think the talking of growth and measuring growth is a young thing to have. It's ambitious. It creates forward momentum. It gets you moving. It provides pressure. Maybe a little too much pressure sometimes. For myself, like someone here's one thing that I'll mention the other day. So there's someone here that occasionally drops in, and I'm not sure if it's an English, a language barrier, or maybe an emotional intelligence. But when someone tells me that they're proud of me, that's weird. Like, to be proud of someone, you have to, in my opinion, you have to be part of the process. So I was like racking my head around what this person meant. It's like, it feels like there's a loss in translation somewhere, and or a lack of emotional intelligence, or maybe some underlying motive. But when someone tells me, oh, you learned a lot of something, it's a coincidence, by the way. This was like 2 days ago. You learned a lot of like kanji. I think it was kanji. I'm proud of you, right? I'm proud of you. I'm like, I don't know if you were here to know how much kanji I learned. It's difficult to take pride in someone's work if you are involved and are aware of what you're proud of. This, to me, strikes as a superficial comment is more likely to be a superficial comment, and it can be interpreted as condescending, where this person believes they are of a higher status and they just wanted to throw out a compliment in which they did not witness me grow. So it's a little weird. Yeah. So in the long run, for me, I usually don't expect people to tell me that I've grown a lot because we grow together, or the person isn't here to see the growth. They might say something like, "Oh, I'm glad you're doing well," right? I can see you're still grinding and whatnot. It's like, that's nice. I know you said that, Curdle. I really appreciate that. Like, appreciate the idea that we don't have time to spend seeing each other grow, but it's always nice to catch up. I agree, it's just a thing people say though without really thinking much about it, so they might just be saying it to say they're happy or doing it. Yeah, that's pretty much what I think as well. There's a loss, but to me there's a loss in translation. Like for me, I am very proud of people who I've invested timeless effort to seeing and witnessing, and growth fills that void too. So the whole proudness and growth comes hand in hand. I absolutely love seeing people grow in front of my eyes. Like kids growing up, they grow up in such a short time frame compared to me, where like when someone says, "How do you measure growth?" A day at a time. A day at a time. If you say that to a kid, they're like, "What the flip are you talking about? Like, do you not like care about making money and stuff?" It's like a day at a time. Like, but what about tomorrow? I'm like, today is the day. Let's focus on today. Like, but wouldn't you need to know that you're working towards something that will make you super awesome? If I try every day, it'll work out. But obviously that's being redundant. The reason why I say this to younger people, because I think when younger people who are inexperienced tries to predict everything they're going to do in the future, you get a lot of the situations that you have now where a younger person decides never to start things because they know what the end product is and they've already become completely blocked from attempting, right? Like I love basketball. Oh, I just went online and saw this kid that's like a superstar that does all that. I can't do that. I guess I'm not going to play basketball anymore. And hear me out. I did that as a kid. And it got me really, really far. For sure. I am the youngest I've ever been in mindset. So today, how I measure progress is by doing. If I said that to my 18-year-old self, he would probably just shake his head and walk away. Comparison is a thief of joy. Indeed, Jacob. Indeed. So nowadays, when people ask me questions, I tend to sound like someone that would hate my younger self, but not in the hate of a like a loathing, self-loathing thing, but more like hate to disagree. Like, oh yeah, it's the kind of grass is the on the greener side of things. Yeah, I do things because I do them. I love doing things. So if I find that someone's interested in something, low key, if SD keeps talking about French, I might just start French sometime down the road with discipline. But I love doing things. So progress and growth for me is how many possible memories I can capture live on stream. but that doesn't mean I'm gonna be streaming while I'm sleeping. Okay, all right. I'm telling you that. I'm just making sure that's out there. Or like for now, showing how I prepare my meals or something. That's a little that's getting a little too hardcore right now. But this is the most I got for everyone for now. For those who are interested. Oh there, Emily. Hello. Okay. I really we'll take this we'll take this discussion to dual Spanish in a sec. Let's do this quickly. By quickly I mean possibly not that quick. All right, so we got horn. Control Z, huh, Jacob? Control Z. I had no idea. It's that easy. Control Z. Wait, isn't that undo? Wow, that's so convenient. Wait, isn't Control Z undo? Wow. What a nice shortcut. Alright. Oh, what was this? You. Who? No. Who? We'll check this as we go. Oh, no, it's cool. Yen. Tasu. Taskeru. What are you taskeru? True. Wait a minute, yes. Oh. No. Whoa. What do you, how you guys, can I ask all of you? How you guys measure progress right now? I absolutely love recording things. Like that's how I measure growth and progress. Or growth. I record. I write. I create. I don't stop creating when the stream goes off. I would be very, very deceiving if I didn't say I plan out at least 70 to 80% of the things I say on stream. That was my personal growth. Your progress is, did I learn or laugh today? Oh, I like the laugh part. Huh. Personally, the extra points if you were able to, for me personally, extra points if someone gave me a new dad joke. You heard me. You know? Honestly, if I had a collection of all the terrible mistakes I made, like what I mean is all the terrible funny mistakes that I laugh about while I'm learning language learning, that is growth right there. Because I've been working on some ways on recovering from making a mistake. Like by recovery I mean fun little stories and collages, like when Jacob talked about what was it, Papa and Father. I already prepared that. It was from the last day about Mama and Mother. Mama, Madre, right? I can, okay. What are you? The dagger pipe worn? Like how did you do this? Oh. Wait. I guess we'll get to this. Oh no. Someone was looking for horns. And they were, oh, it's definitely Jimmy. But where? I wanted to put Jimmy in, oh. That's fine. I told myself I wouldn't be doing that until later, but that's okay. Alright, let's cover this up. So, wait. I forgot to read one of your statements. You said something about Seattle. I totally forgot that. Oh, and you... Wait. You said something about Seattle, and I didn't make a comment on it. Hold on. Still busy life. Moved up to the Seattle area. Did I already know that? From last time, or not? Had a work trip in Vegas all this week. So tired from that. That's a weird... That's an awesome flex. You should have flexed harder. You get to go to Vegas for a business trip? Huh. Hi Shay. Hi Shay. Ying. Yi. Ying something. Stand. Female Ying Jie. Ying Jie. I. Hi. Yun. Hai Ying. Hai Yun. I'm gonna have to hear that sample again. This is a sample that I need to hear. Hai Yun. Wan. Dong. 动画普通话方方向方向不但是通知Nope. Ah, 变用比Nope. 比值不安 便利. Bien? Most of your time was in a conference room with way too many people. I miss being in a conference room with way too many people. Is that kind of weird? That sounds kind of weird. I do miss being around around people. Although I do have to agree, at the time those conference rooms are way too packed. All the time, way too packed. Efficiency and all. All right, so let's cover these things. Right, 房间. Oh, I forgot to do the mnemonic stuff. We'll do it. 房间, so room. I know, but it can also mean bedroom. So this is fine. How do I screw this up? Ow. Oh. 1-4, 1-4 toss. 1-4 toss. No, not 1-4 toss. This is alumni. That's a gut reference. Gut whoopsie. Gut whoopsie. Chi. One messed up on chi again. My gut feeling, wrong tone. So 去年 last year. Fine. I guess I'll just write chi. Oops. Chi. That's kind of a non-issue. So these are non-issues. Human error, human error. Gotta embrace it. And this one is 1-4 tap. So I tapped 4 instead of 1. Even though I was thinking 1. How did this one work? Was it? Yeah. It's the so西南. That's a non-issue. And then I screwed up Ding Yen as well. It's a 1-4 tap. Yeah, how do we do Ying? Ying is right. Ying and Yen. What was Yen's? This one, right? Right. Yan Ying. Yen. What do you do at a conference? Like what is this about? What do you guys chat about? Is it like a seminar setting? Alright, what do we have here? Oh, cha. Oh, cha is a little bit rough right now. Wait, is this our only cha? I think this is our only cha. Oh, you know what? I think they have a different typeset for this. Oh, they do have a different typeset for this. Dang. Swapping it up. Using this typeset. Cha die. Oh, I think we're doing broiler, right? Whoops. Or what do you? Oh dear. Oh no, it's goggle. It's black. We're doing black. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's off-centered. Right. Oh, the cha. What was the cha? Charlie Brown is in. Charlie Brown is. Oh, Charlie Brown is in the bathroom auditorium of the bathroom auditorium, wearing a sheep suit. But then a real sheep came by. Is like, dude, what up? You're not a real sheep, and bonk him over the head with a like with a crossbeam because he's different. He differs. You can't say what you talk about since it was government stuff. Oh, okay. But it was talking. Oh, okay. I see. You and your confidentiality. I got you. I got you. I totally messed up show. I was what face today? Go through. And I messed it up again because I did a 1-4 tap after Ru. This one is an asterisk. This one is too. For sure. Largely because I feel like the feeling of this one is different from, but I can't quite put it in English still. So to contemplate. I have so many for this one to contemplate. How do I screw this one up? It's 认清. Oh, this one too. It's in the fillings department. 认清. To see clearly. It's fine. We put an asterisk on this one too. What happened? Oh no, this one. No. We're putting it over here. La Kai. The poll open to take out. No. This one's non-negotiable. We're patching that up. Patching that puppy up. Done. No, done. Mark that. And then the one thing I need to remember from this one is cards. I need to remember the cards. It's an education moon card. So yeah. So we mark that one. That one is a pep. I don't know why I wrote salt water. Oh, because I was thinking of the sea and water, and I was thinking of salt water, but it's seawater. I don't want to talk about it. I see. I see. I see. Alright. That's good. Oh, no. Okay. So let's make sure these are all in. So let's solidify this Yugi. Second Yugi. Okay, so Yugi is in a bathroom, right? Of the house. Because where else would he be? And he's got his trusty elbow pads on for the educational moons moon that he summoned through his car that keeps whacking him in the elbow as an attempt to educate him. And this one's a little weird too. Goofy is in the bathroom of the house as well, chilling, different house. And for whatever reason, Goofy decided, hey, I'm gonna clean this headstone. And then the foreman just like, nah, you doofus, what are you doing that for? And he hit him for deliberately defiling a grave, because clearly that's where he got his headstone. And then he slips and drops the headstone. Of course, it wasn't deliberate, but there you go. Goofy be goofying. All right. Then we have Yoshi. Yoshi is in the basement of the pawn shop, right? And Yoshi in the basement of the pawn shop is doing what with words? I mean, I have no idea what he's doing with words. It could be anything. Let's go check. Yoshi is inside. Oh, it's because it's not the basement, but that still doesn't help. He is running around trying to knock down some words that are floating around with this spotted egg, afraid that they would bump the vintage item. Okay, so it's 2. That would explain why it's a little weirder if it's happening in the basement. But I guess it could technically happen in the basement. So we're going in the shop. So that could be a problem tomorrow. Although I do have a prototypic word for this, but I thought it was 3, not 2. Nevertheless. Alright, so he's preventing the words from knocking over vintage items in the pawn shop. You gotta head out? Take care. Take care, Jacob. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck on your busy life. Yeah. I will. I'll catch you on the next revolving opportunity. What does Tarzan have to do with being outside of an auditorium? He has a dollhouse. A dollhouse and some spoons. Oh, he didn't have things to use for the dollhouse, so he used spoons instead. And lots of people really like observing him doing it. And then something about the It movie was being shown, so that's fine. It's okay. It's fine. George Costanza is in the bathroom of the house with a muscular arm helping him. Oh, it could be basement now. No, I think it's the bathroom. Pushing up a bookshelf. And he doesn't want to like get the tiles. The help of muscular arm. I don't actually know how they negotiate the bathroom part. He looks more sophisticated, but there's nothing to indicate the bathroom. Yeah. Well, I could lose the tone in this one. There's a chance I can lose the tone in this one. So that's a problem. And then let's look at this again. It is quite a sight to see, so they got tuxedo guys watching him play with it and reenact. That's fine. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem for tomorrow. Well, okay. And then we have the Hulk. Ooh, this one's... Lots of these are tough. Bathroom. Office building. And he has a crazy manager who told them to use that halberd, right? Use that halberd. Lift that halberd from the ground with your mouth, or else you're fired. And then we have Jimmy Neutron in the basement or in the cellar of the barn. Doing something. He's looking for horns, right? Yeah, in the basement. He's looking for horns that rival his horn-shaped hair. And I believe this is still horn, so... I didn't ask that question was... hey, sorry, didn't ask that man. Question was folding laundry too, but you have a good night. Oh. Wait. What's happening? Alright. Alright, so that's a wrap for HanziHero today. And our our traditional Chinese portion. I found out that you can control Z to undo things. That's interesting. I might actually consider doing that for some of the stuff. Who knows? Maybe. Maybe. I'll have to take that into advisement. Enabling the settings for learning vocabulary without being blocked behind characters. Maybe. I'll have to think about it. We'll think about it for the 100 thing, right? I do want to change things up, so maybe in another 24 days we'll have a better idea. Until then, right? If you're gonna watch this later, 谢谢. For those who are only interested in Chinese, right? In HanziHero, as always, you are free to join, follow along, or talk about hot takes. I always like talking about hot takes. Well, discussing it so that it becomes less of a hot take, right? I like to simmer down, chill out hot takes, make them some cold takes, talk long enough that the hot take becomes cold or colder. So until then, right? 下次见，下次再聊吧. I'm gonna get up and take a quick bathroom break, and I'll be back for Spanish. Yep. Thank you.